won't have to talk too much longer, George, about
No.
these two teams. Instead, we can talk about them inside the server. So our faces are no longer on the screen, and I'm sure everybody's happy about that one.
Yeah, I mean, I am. I'm happy about the fact that my face isn't on the screen, Dan. Sometimes you just feel a little bit self-conscious, you know? And sometimes you need a little bit of loving. I just wanted to let you know that whilst you look gorgeous today, I'd much rather watch Mopoz and Davi just get themselves 3 kills to open up the round.
Yeah, that is always a good one, but Chop, he wants to answer back. He's got himself 2, and it's him and Welko trying to find what they can in this round. I mean, they've got the man disadvantage. Sampayas has the kit and a couple of flashbangs to work with, so even if the bomb gets planted, they've still got that 5-second defuse to work with. As Defs is just playing. Jump in for the information, see what he can spot out towards both bathrooms and long. He's getting into one of those groovy movements you have, where you're just doing the same movement over and over again. You get into the groove. Very shortly, though, spot out these couple players pushing in through bathrooms and will very quickly call for support. Sunpice isn't too far away either. So there can be the very quick rotation back up from heaven. As now the contact is made, they're going to start progressing in. Defs is not going to take early fights. Instead, he's just going to back away, knows that he needs to wait for his teammates to come through. That flashbang is just going to completely blind him up. And that's an odd place to try and plant. Sampayas just taps him down through the smoke. Defs will finish off the second. And it is going to be Movistar Riders taking an early lead here on Overpass.
Who'd have thought, hey? Who'd have thought, Dan? To me, I'd have said that's probably the bleeding obvious that we were going to have this happen. But again, pistol rounds can be a bit flippy every now and again. You don't always get the necessarily the easiest or the cleanest of results on pistol rounds to what you would expect to be the outcome overall. So, okay, let's get into it with Movistar Riders now with the guns. I like the conservatism coming across, though, from RBG. I like this. It means they're going to be able to get something decent working out on this third round, so they're going to hemorrhage as few rounds as possible. I like that. I'm not a fan of risks. Bungee jumping or skydiving don't appeal to me. So neither does poor fiscal responsibility in CSGO. Alex might be on for a quick 2K here because neither of these two players are going to check the cornering connector. That's also going to garner Sunpias a headshot onto Hex on the other side of the map. In fact, it may yet still garner him a second as well. He knows that he can stand here rather brash and brazen in the open and take these fights because he has armor. And he knows his opponent, Wiz, does not. So why not try and take these fights? There it is. There's the headshot finally coming in. And Davi just bounds across. So that's a lovely quick all-round for Movistar Riders. 2-0ing off the break. And now they'll finally find themselves up against some resistance, old Daniel.
Resistance is a bit of an understatement for a full smorgasbord of AK-47s, George. But, you know,
Trying to be polite about it.
well, maybe the scout for Sampayas can produce something early on for the Movistar Riders, because with still these couple MP9s, the FAMAS, the scout, it's not at all going to be a sort of evenly matched round in terms of the weaponry. That's a nice tag for Sampayas, just getting a little bit of damage onto Welko, but yeah, it's not going to be an all too sort of evenly matched round. So if Movistar Riders are able to pick this one up, it would be a huge boon to their efforts. However, Chop ain't going to be having any of that towards connector. Alex removed. And the RBG side now have themselves the advantage. They're actually just going to back away from that A site. They fancy themselves a bit of a push in towards B. Right now, it's only Mopoz with a FAMAS who's in position to defend. They should be able to rotate Davi pretty quickly over. However, he only got the MP9, so he's not going to be a massive amount of assistance in terms of a long-range engagement, and he's not going to be very quick getting towards the site for short-range engagements. I think Mopoz will probably already be feeling the heat before Davi is able to join him inside the site, but he has actually burned up Welko. That's the low HP player from that scout earlier, and Hex is able to trade out onto Mopoz, so RBG rather, they will hold the advantage for the time being. And as well as getting the bomb plant, that acts as a bit of an extra member as well, a simulated member. Just the timer starts ticking down and puts pressure on this Movistar Riders side, but that's a huge 2K. Hex now chimes in and gets his own couple kills there, makes it 3 in the round, and RBG, with the weapons out, do convert their first attempt. So a good sort of statement early on from the RBG side. It is, of course, their map pick, and they'll want to try and make it theirs.
Tell you what, it's a nice statement. It's a good opening round, but admittedly, there was a little bit of a bonus round trying to be had there by the Movistar Riders side. You could tell. Now they're not going to be phoning it in anymore. They've got the M4s out for 4 players. Of course, Mopos still has to, unfortunately, take that MP9, but I don't think it's going to be the end of the world for him. Alex already getting very aggressive, guised by the cover of smoke for the moment. Molotov's about to start burning him out, though, and he's going to have to abscond quickly back into his den. Nice MP9 shots out towards water, though, and it also catches the information that there's a player inside of Connector. Deaths will take the opportunity just to spam on through, but again, nothing really offered back up by RBG, so not a huge problem in a 4 versus 5. Of course, you are on the T side, so it is your prerogative to now make something happen, but if you all hit in the same place and coordinate together, you can potentially look to try and trade this one out. All you need is somebody to do a 2-on-1. Maybe even just find a 2K on the entry if they line up, spray down, something like that. And you can be right back into it. It's not all doom and gloom when you lose the opening frag. Looks like Alex and Mopos are going to try and play almost on top of each other here in towards this back corner as well, which I feel can only end badly unless Alex does move forward. Which thankfully he is going to regress now into the bathroom. He's going to hear a litany of footsteps to his left in a moment. As soon as they give the call to go, Alex is about to hear everything. Flashbang, smokes, footsteps, all going away. There's the first frag. That's Sun Pius, but Alex is in behind, running interference. Mopos now coming in too. There's the 2 frags I was talking about. All of a sudden, this round looks a whole lot less winnable for Movistar Riders. Davi now needs to try and find a way through this smoke, and unfortunately, it's not going to be too becoming for him. Mopos still working the flank, though. If he gets a nice timing, this angle could be absolutely massive. Finds the first 2 players obscured by the cover of smoke at the moment. Now the final one emerges. It's all Mopos. Finds all 3 and gets it all done. Movistar Riders, the Spaniards, cruise in towards the 3rd.
And that's what I was worried about for this RBG side, because, yeah, they picked up the first, but it was against that sort of limited weaponry still, the MP9, the FAMAS, the Scout. It wasn't a full buy, and when Movistar Riders bring out that weaponry themselves, the sort of more convincing rifles, they're able to not convincingly take a round there. It was still a little bit tight towards the end, and it was Mopos mainly able to pluck that one away with just a huge flank coming through. As RBG were hemmed in towards the side, they weren't able to get anybody out of position, and the orders got sort of locked inside. And now for RBG, they are left with a very, very sticky situation. They'll go for a bit of a half buy, see what they can find from this. Maybe a few kills would be nice, because obviously Movistar Riders haven't been able to build up much cash from that round. Sun Pius is still rolling with an MP9 here. But a good opening from Mopos. Sun Pius, well, that's 2 for him on the MP9. $600 per kill. He's just going to get out of there, knows that doesn't need to stick around any longer. 2v5 is more than winnable for Movistar Riders. It's almost guaranteed at this point. Sun Pius just doing what he can to get even more on that MP9. 3rd kill for him. $1,800 in total off that weapon in that round. Always love to see it. Not if you're RBG, though.
I don't think you'd love to see that if you're RBG. I think RBG Esports would like that one to go back a different way. But as it is, they're now back on the buy down. No time to worry, really. They're just buying. Biz on the AWP. Good to see that he's going to crack that one out early. Find the kill discrepancy at the moment on RBG a little bit worrying, but we're not in a position where we need to be worrying about that too much yet. It's still early doors in the game just now. Eventually, everyone will get activated, I'm sure. Movistar Riders just start to try and suffocate control of the map away from RBG. You can see with this water take, that's exactly what they're planning. Just trying to get a little bit more room to play with out towards the... Just further out towards the B, extending their sphere of influence, extending their reach, as now they start to get the implication that there's going to be a lot of pressure exerted over towards the A site here. Don't know what could possibly give that away. Is it the footsteps of 5 players? I don't know. Potentially something along those lines, as Alex is ready and waiting for it. He hears it around the corner, ready for these players to double peek into him. He sees the shadow, but doesn't see the bullets go into their heads, unfortunately. Des is now going to have to take point, and he does an absolutely marvellous job. He goes 2 for 2, so that works nicely at trading out Alex's misdemeanors, as now Sunpius holds on Optimus, waiting to call in Davik for support, and there it is, turned anti-flash, but still not able to find the frags. Walco and Wiz now getting it all done. It is going to be a 2 versus 1 for Mopoz. He's done a 3K before from a very similar position, but this time he is flanking, just not from bathrooms. It's long he's coming in from, which means he has a little bit more distance to go running. This time, Walco and Wiz, though, are not going to be as silly as they might have been in the last time that Mopoz was on a flank. They're going to back down in towards the bank. They know they can play this one from the staircases, checking all the obvious spots. Mopoz making his way on into the site, but now I think he realised he's got a couple of hard duels ahead, ready to go and take this first fight. Spots it. Able to take the frag, though. Molotov towards the staircase, but Wiz is up, takes the head of Mopoz with him, and finds a second for the Americans.
All right. I like it. I like it. Just build a bit of momentum now. Get this T side rolling. Get yourself like 6 or 7 rounds, sort of. If you get 6 or 7 rounds on this T side, you're actually in a pretty good spot when you head over towards the defense. Especially because Movistar, they're not the ones who picked this map. They aren't going to be as comfortable on the T side as maybe you'd see with RBG. So you can probably see RBG converting a 6 or 7 round deficit in terms of not being 6 or 7 rounds down, but having 6 or 7 rounds, just to clarify. Of course, Movistar still thing to force into this one. Davi just with a deal, though. They do get some pies on the AWP, and he's been a very, very strong player for this Movistar side, especially ever since they sort of converted into the Spanish roster. He's been a key performer of this Movistar side. I think has filled the shoes of Smooya pretty well, if not a little bit better. But that's not the flashbang that Walco wanted to be having. He's fully blinded. And it's an easy kill for Alex. Gets the first, can upgrade onto the AK as well, I believe, unless he shot it a little bit too far away during the spray. But RBG, they're just going to back away, and instead the B site looks to be their point of entry. Mopoz is just holding towards short, so there's 2 teammates inside of the site. They can just focus on the aggression from Monster, and right now they're not actually holding all too much. Wiz, is he going to get the AWP kill? Yes, he is. Good kill to find Mopoz out of action, a man who's been on the flank so often, but Davi with the Deagle finds 2. That's great work from him inside of the site to keep this in an even situation, but Wiz does not like that. A kill comes through, Sunpius goes down, and now it's Alex alone. A 1 versus 2 has upgraded into the AK-47. Knows Chop has to still be in the site, and knows there's still a play around the back. And oh, the spray! It almost works. The spray transfer leaves Chop on just 2 HP, but he knew he had to take the fight when his teammate went down. Knew he had to, otherwise he was a dead man for sure. And RBG just clinched away a 3rd as well.
Man, these rounds are pretty close. They're closer than I certainly thought they were going to be. I thought Movistar Riders, after taking that pistol, was going to run away from it. But RBG keeping them on a close and tight leash, and now Movistar Riders, or Movistar, sorry, have to find themselves on the bit of a back foot, Dan. They're going to be taking the pistol buys, and really these pistols are insignificant at best, because there's just 2 CZs in the equation here, and they are not going to have any impact. Jitter just chews through them. Sunpius on a USP, just prolonging the inevitability inside of this round, as he's going to try and come on a long flank. Unfortunately for him, there's like no reason to save here either, because there's nothing to save, and also there isn't a weapon down. Nobody's died on the RBG side. Sorry, RGB just rolls off the tongue so much better. Maybe they should reconsider the branding. As Sunpius, I don't really know what he's looking to achieve here. His objective. Try and steal away one frag, try and catch an isolated player. I feel like it's a gunfight that he is destined to lose almost every single time he takes it. As round the corner, Walco will find him, and he'll also let him know about it too.
Signs are pretty good for RBG here. Overpass, it obviously is their map pick. Star Riders, guns out once again. 3 or 4 rifles alongside Moppers on a FAMAS. Not the perfect buy, and actually they lack quite a bit in terms of the utility as well. But look at the aggression Movistar are going to put forward early on towards the A side. This is something we saw from Godsent quite a bit on their CT side, is this early sort of A fountain party aggression to try and find an opening kill, and right now it leaves RBG alone towards this B site. You've got Mopos towards Connector, who might be able to help with a peek through into short, but other than that, you're going to be left a little bit isolated here, and you can see now Movistar Riders, they're backing away, they're rotating plays back around. Some Pius needs to really go down. He's going to deploy the smoke. That might help out his teammate, but I think it's a little bit too late to really stem at the Stolt, and Davy needs at least one. He does get one. Some players trades, and he's looking for more. He actually is able to find a huge amount of damage, but so are the RBG side, and Mopos can't do it from short. All up towards Alex, 1v2. And look how low Wiz, oh, look how low Chop is on HP. Wiz gonna try and go for that bomb plant. Spam not connecting at all. Molotov goes in instead, and it's just too late. You can see RBG, they are backed away, and Alex might do the same. Although smoke begins to fade, and he might have a look in towards the site yet again, and unfortunately for him, it's Wiz. Ready and waiting to find a fifth for the RBG side, but, I mean, some Pius tried his best there. I think if he'd been able to find that sort of, if he'd been able to clean up on that first player, you might have been looking at a completely different round there.
Quite possibly. Quite possibly a very looking different round, but either which way, Dan, whichever way you slice it, it wasn't the outcome that they were looking for Movistar Riders, and now, Dan, it's back to the pistols again. This is the nature of the beast. When you start losing consecutive rounds on the CT side, you end up getting kind of trapped in this endless cycle of buy and then eco, buy and then eco. Sometimes you might be able to work out a buy and then half buy strategy where you just get upgraded pistols and some armor, and that's supplementary enough for you to purchase. But basically, you're locked in that until you win. And if you can't win, then you lose. I think that was an NIP. That was an NIP quote, wasn't it? Wasn't it like when they were like in team comms or something, when Alu was in the team and there was all those great legendary team comms got released? And it was like, if you don't win, and then they all just go, you lose.
Something like that, yeah, I remember that.
I remember that. Oh man, the good old days.
Yeah, I always remember that being in like the same sort of video as Can We Drink the Red Bulls? That one.
Yes. And other egregious Alu comments that he would not get away with anymore. Something
Those
about
really were the bot Alu days.
Yeah, the bot Alu days, man.
Outside the server, at least. Outside the server, at least. But
that personality was something else, wasn't it? Still think, by the way, that AWP shot on Dust 2 absolutely robbed an NIP of that major. Put it out there. As Hext robs Mopos of his life. Jitter is also going to be approaching in towards this site and robs deaths of his too, rather ironically. Davy G just going to be rolling around the back of barrels, and he's too about to walk into a rain of bullets from Jitter. Hext also getting it done as well. Sun Pius once again left up 1 versus 5, really with no reason to save, but also no real want to go and just die. So he's left in this awkward predicament of trying to play this one slowly enough that he might be able to steal a gun away or something like that. So Movistar Riders once again concede another. RBG go up to 6 rounds now. Certainly not expected, but looking very strong here on Overpass. As Chancellor Palpatine once said, a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one.
He did say that. I remember that happening.
It did, yeah. Did happen.
You know what hasn't happened, though? Movistar finding a 5th.
Bloody hell, Dan. They said you were good.
Oh dear me. God, I just come out with some bangers, don't I? Dear Lord. Save me. But for the Movistar side, they'll have another attempt with the rifles here. And they do get some pious on the AWP. Obviously, in the last gun round, he only had the M4. He's had a pretty decent start alongside Mopos here for this Movistar side. Meanwhile, on the RBG, Chop is living it up with double digits. The only player to have double digits so far. Hext 9 and 7 for him as well. He's looking pretty hot to trot to begin with. But another round, another chance to extend that lead for RBG. And initially, Movistar Riders are going to be playing very, very far back. They've got some pious out towards long. He's covering that angle. We'll now have Alex for a little bit of support as he'll try and take a little bit of control in towards the toilets, the bathrooms, to see if he can maybe catch players trying to push a little bit aggressive. For now, the smoke blocks his vision, but I think it should fade relatively soon. BG just starting to creep forward. The smoke has now faded, and Alex will be hearing some of these steps. Does he peek out to maybe try and find one? Probably not. He'll just see if anyone's going to peek in towards his angle, and he will get Wolko down. Nice early frag for Alex, and you can see some pious has already rotated around to cover towards the bathrooms, but RBG don't fancy it anymore. Losing Welko, they prefer to back away, and unfortunately, that's into Mopot's crosshair, who does get one.
That's
does
nice.
Hex expect the second player here, though? Davi is ready for battle, and he's going to get the shot in return, brings it back into a two-man advantage for the Movistar Riders, and now it's all up towards Wiz and Jitter to try and get themselves a 7th on the board, at least make this costly for Movistar Riders. Nade doesn't do all too much damage, but one planted, and Devs just spams through, gets a little bit lucky. I think the edge of the player was actually showing.
Ooh.
Nice shot! Oh, Wiz, that was a delightful little shot of the Devs. Surprised it wasn't a headshot, but nonetheless, takes him down, and now he's left alone. Can't do the 1 versus 3 though.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a reach, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I will say, Dan,
Yeah.
it's a good old round for RBG. Despite, obviously not being a win, I think there's still positive signs to be taken from it. I will ask you a very important question. Now, this is something that's been troubling my brain for quite some time since I made that RGB obvious slip-up. Obviously, we all know that RGB stands for red, green, blue, but what does RBG stand for? I've seen people in Twitch chat saying really big guys. I like that.
Yeah.
What else? What else could it be? Answers on a postcard Twitch chat, and Dan can get back to me when he feels like he's got a good one.
Relatively Belarusian gamers.
Only relatively Belarusian, not fully.
Yeah. No, relatively. They're like dual nationality, but
right,
outside of the family.
Understandable. Understandable. But yeah, Twitch chat. What does RBG stand for? Unironic answers will not be accepted. So ironic answers only, please. And I'll read accordingly when they end up popping up in a couple of minutes' time.
Yeah.
HE grenades this round, by the way, from Movistar Riders have been just horrible, haven't they?
I mean, I'm actually surprised Jitter doesn't die to that one. 4 HP remains for him. But, still kicking about, still knocking about. And Welko, unfortunately, is not knocking about anymore. Again, took down by Alex on a bit of an off angle. He's not expecting. Devs will finally finish off one of those HE damages as he finishes off Jitter through the wall. Just, bit of timing, bit of fortune goes the way of him in that one. And now you're left at a 2-man advantage. I was about to say red, blue, green there. RBG. I'm going to put a bit of pressure on Chop to deliver, and he does, onto Alex, but still more players to find, and still a man advantage for the Movistar Riders. There's 20 seconds on the clock or thereabouts. They need to get in towards this A site, and the smoke's rained down. F is going to get isolated inside the site. Decent amount of damage done towards Chop. But it's Hex who's delivering the kills in 9 seconds, and he needs to get to that bomb. Chop, huge kill yet again. And they do manage to come away with it. Wiz delivering those final 2 kills. A huge turnaround for RBG in that round. That was a 2-man advantage for the Movistar Riders, but they come away with the 7th round. annihilating the Movistar Riders' chance to maybe string a few more together here. They're left with not really much cash at all, George.
I believe in RBG supremacy, man. I believe. Do you believe, Dan?
Yeah, sure. Maybe on Overpass.
Well, Dan.
Still sticking to my guns and saying I'm still favouring the Movistar Riders for this series, though.
I think you should be right. That's where the betting man's money would be. But let's not discount RBG so far, because they are currently tearing through Movistar Riders. They're only 1 round away from securing victory in this half already, by the way.
Yeah.
Of course, 8 rounds will do that for you. So this is a pretty strong showing. Death's not able to offer up any resistance. And once again, who is far away from the equation? It's Sunpius. Sunpius's impact has also been extremely stunted, because of the fact they've never really had control over the economy. So therefore, it's only ever really been able to get like 1 or 2 AWPs in the half, and now here comes one of those AWPs. About time that Sunpius had a little bit of responsibility to try and stand up to, because he needs it. Sometimes he needs that kind of environment to thrive, Dan. For the time being, he's being a little bit stunted, because RBG are just kind of, well, they're suffocating the finances. They're cutting off all aid.
There we go. You have to see it at least once, don't you? 4-man boost. Is it going to find any success? I don't think so. Maybe Wiz can find... It looked like there might have been a player going for the jump peak, unfortunately. Not to be spotted, and Wiz will have to drop off. So a nice attempt. You know. Got to see it once a map, George, on Overpass. But unfortunately, not finding the kill.
I like to see it. It's one of my favourite things to see. I only like to see it when it pays off, though.
Yeah, and luckily it's not as, not as outrageous as the Olaf boost, so there's that.
There is that. That is a true statement. The Olaf boost was pretty outrageous. So, I mean, even with the Olaf boost aside, and even with the 4-man boost aside, I still think that there's a chance here for Movistar Riders to bring this one back now that Sunpius has the AWP. I'm not trying to put too much weight on the kid's shoulders, but he really is a bit of a big boy. So I've just been buckled. Ruth Bader Ginsburg Esports. Well, so love that. Ridiculously bonkers gamers. Rush B guys. Ripped bold goons. I'm loving this. Randomly big guts. Red, black, gold apparently is what it actually stands for. Which is cool, I guess. Really bold guys. That's the Dan Chan one.
Yeah, that esports team, really bold guys.
Yeah, rest in peace, RBG, by the way. For Ruth, she was a revolutionary. But either way, Dan, this round could be revolutionary for Movistar Riders, as I got wildly sidetracked by the Twitch chat. It's just set me off. I love it. As now Sunpius has to get some shots landed, and he's already missed. And I'm afraid he's been tagged in the process, which means that Alex is now being like, okay then, guess I won't go for this, and we'll just sulk away and live to fight another day. Go and lick your wounds, boys. Movistar Riders have got bigger fish to fry, like saving the AWP and the M4. What else have we got in the Twitch chat? Random generated body damage. Okay, interesting. I don't know. Some of these I can't say on stream.
Yeah.
But they're good. I like that. Really big gamers.
Yeah, that's a simple one. You know?
Really big gamers.
Simple but effective.
Simple but effective. Straight, concise, to the point. Loving it. That's what I'm here for, Dan. No nonsense.
I'm still laughing at the roof fading.
That's good, isn't it? Hey, they're going for it again. Maybe there's no need to laugh anymore. Maybe there's time to be happy. Yes, there's time to be happy! Oh, I love it. I'm very happy now. Wiz taking deaths down. This is just RBG supremacy, my man. RBG supremacy. Forget the red and black. This is nothing but gold.
Am I seriously right? I'm still right. Okay, Overpass. Yeah, looking pretty good, RBG. We'll see if they can hold out to the end. But I still don't believe Movistar are going to drop this series. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all the RBG fans.
Dare to dream, Dan. Dare to dream.
Yeah. Well,
I have a dream.
It'd be really cool. I mean, to be fair, I would really like a NA team to succeed here because it's a region that's really struggling, and I want some sort of success to come their way, just purely so it doesn't die a slow death. And I mean, if RBG taking down Movistar Riders is what we need to begin the kickoff of that, fair enough. And already it's like 10 is more than likely here. You've got the two-man advantage. Yeah, there's been decent damage done to some of these RBG players, but there's just a sheer manpower is going to be overwhelming, and Daffy's going to hit all these steps. You can see Mopoz rotating back. He's actually going to be in a really cheeky position for this. Unfortunately for him, no players are going to be pushing through that angle. Actually, so as he clears out Monster, that's just unfortunate for Mopoz. Maybe would have been better not to stand in the open, but what does he know? Now Davy peeks in from Connector. One kill goes his way, but Sunpius all alone can't do anything. And it's RBG securing a 10-5 lead on their map pick, and we'll be back after a short little break.
In a quiet town, bodies fall upon sacred ground, burn a flag and a king is crowned. Coming to get you. I'm coming.
It is Movistar Riders and Round Belly Gamers trying to get themselves off to another banger. I mean, at the half, they had a big banger on their way, and now they've just got to hope that they can do it again here on the second half. This time switching over to the CT side. So this is going to be a big one. RBG's odds have rapidly swung in a little bit more neutral now. Movistar Riders could be in trouble. Time to step it up for the Spaniards. They are down at the half, 5-10. They are realistically the favourites. Many of the players in this whole event, as a matter of fact, have touted them to be one of the teams that they're actually scared by. They think they're one of the favourites to make it through into Pro League, and so far they're not really doing a very good job of hammering that point home, Dan.
Oh, and pushing forwards, RBG already finding an opening kill on the defense, but you've got Defs and Mopos able to at least bring it into a Movistar even situation. 3 on 2, Wiz and Hexed just going to be trying to do what they can. Make it just Hex. Wiz has had his head chopped off, you could say. 1v3. Potential to maybe find a little bit of damage here. But no, Alex is going to close that one off. P250 locks it down. And you have Movistar Riders starting to close things up here early on in the second half. George, 6 on the board for them, and they'll look to try and convert as well. But remember, I mean, you saw in the first half that the Movistar side they won out the oh no, they didn't. It was RBG that won the pistol, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it?
It was. It got them off to a nice little start. But then they got forced.
No, it was Movistar.
They got forced back on.
No, it was Movistar. I remember now.
Okay, but, we're tripping all over all over the gaff, as Brits say. But let's not worry, because RBG are on the case. They've brought it down into a 3-on-2 with pistols. Oh, Walco manages to absolutely spin on Alex as well, and all of a sudden, Sun Pius, 1 versus 3, out of left field. He's down to 13 HP, and now he's taken down as well. Oh, RBG are making it work. They're finding their way on through for 6-11 now. Oh, good Mary, this is a very entertaining affair. I'm loving it. You know what, Dan? I've always loved an underdog story. Usually it's Movistar Riders that are the underdogs in most tournaments they're playing in. But nah, this time, RBG from the emerging region of America. They are going to be the ones to try and take the fight to them. I'm here for it. Every moment of the way. We're going for it, boys. Full send. I'm on the RBG hype train, and Wiz is too. It's just pulling into the station, and now it's departing away from the Movistar Riders. Their Audi has now a 4 versus 5 quickly brought down. RBG with all the advantages and even a great HE grenade to boot.
Yeah, being able to double up courtesy of Walco. Gives them the 5-on-3, and Movistar Riders, I think they're sort of done and dusted for Overpass already. I'm feeling like this is unless they can get a really quick start on the first gun rounds, they're gonna really struggle here. And I think that RBG just walk away with this one now on Overpass, and then we'll head over to the second map and see if maybe Movistar on their own map pick can find a little bit more success than they have done here, or maybe, you know, RBG take a bit of a, or at least surprising to me, win against the Movistar side. You never know.
Where were you, Dan, when North America resurrected like Jesus on Easter? Man just rolls out of his tomb and saves Counter-Strike. That's right. RBG are our saviors. They're going to save CSGO.
Are you comparing RBG to Jesus right now?
Maybe. I told you, Dan, I'm all in on this hype train, all right? I have to go everywhere with it. I'm all in.
Okay.
I've put my whole earnings, my wealth, my entirety of my possessions, my dog is on this game. Like, I'm betting the bailiffs are going to come for me if they lose. So, you know what? Need it. Need them to win. Just for my own happiness. Deaths is going to be the only form of resistance still remaining for Movistar Riders, but it won't be remaining for long because there's a very angry man with a MAC-10 ready to stare him down, and Walco. Yeah, I love it. BM, North America's back. I'm here for it. Even as a Brit, even as a European. Technically, we left like the continent of Europe, though, and we're being towed off towards Greenland, so
yeah, we're
not really part of that anymore, so we can be quite a neutral party.
Yeah, we plan to have a vote on which continent we'd like to be a part of next.
That's the next big referendum.
Personally, I'm going to vote for the Antarctic, the Arctic continent. But,
yeah, you liking the sound of that?
Yeah, I think, you know, go see the polar bears or penguins, whichever it is in that one.
Yeah, I think I don't know actually. Antarctic is both, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Actually, I'm not sure. I need to watch a David Attenborough documentary.
Yeah.
I feel like
then forget about it a few hours later.
Excuse me, I never forget about my David.
Well, how come you can't?
Because I haven't watched that specific David one yet.
Okay.
I watched one about
it might
plants.
be David versus Goliath here, potentially. Yeah, no.
Alright, bit of a reach.
Yeah, a bit of a reach. But Avi is doing some good work. He gets a couple kills. There is resistance from RBG though, and obviously this is a bit of their bonus round. So if they're able to put a bit more damage on the board here, that would certainly be firing them off well. But unfortunately, they are just completely blinded by Alex. Flashbang, and it's Mopoz with a clean little 2k there. They just drop into the crosshair. Movistar find a 7th, but now, if you are the RBG side, you have the cash for most players. Jitter, I think, gets a drop over to him. Actually, no. I must have looked at his cash just as he bought, because he does buy himself up the M4, and they have a perfect buy pretty much, apart from a little bit of missing utility for a couple players.
You know what though? You know what though? It's pretty good though. It's pretty damn good. I mean, for a CT side as well, you know, utility is always burnt early. Wiz is just going to use his utility. Oh my goodness! Is this? Am I watching JW? Like, hello? Go for it again. Why not? Wiz is just absolutely fearless. Oh my goodness gracious me! Mopoz is now going to find himself a little bit hot under the collar, not least because there is fire at his feet. His bit of territory given up though. Over on the A side of things, Davy is going to make sure he can at least try and capitalize on this anarchy, this chaos being thrown about across the map. Thankfully, there is some resistance inside the site, so whatever Davy manages to find out over here might not really be the be-all and end-all of the A site. But B site seems to be the upcoming destination for the Movistar Riders side. Just gonna press on, keep a few angles open, prod and poke for the time being. See if anybody reveals themselves. Fine line being drawn in the sand here by RBG on the map. You can see 4 players basically just standing in a line across the 2 sites. And now they're going to start to give their action stations a test. Jitter slides out and there's no jitter in his aim. He absolutely laser shot.
Oh.
Chop absolutely murders Mopoz and Davy and brings 14 around for RBG. Can you believe it, Dan? I'm shaking. Shaking. I'm nervous for them.
Who? Nervous for who?
At this point, I'm not even sure.
You nervous for RBG potentially throwing it all away? You nervous for the Movistar Riders heading into the second map? Potentially both. Could be both. Why not both?
I think it is, but I think I'm more nervous for RBG. Just so, like, let's not overstate it. I don't think anybody was really expecting them to do big things, but I mean, looking at it, Walco said in the video that we watched just before we started the action today that he feels like, you know, once this team gets in towards Europe, starts having some good practice, they feel like they can really develop. And, well, it's hard to argue with this assessment at the moment, isn't it?
Certainly not. First map is looking delightful for the RBG side, and well, I'm sure they'll be in high spirits heading into the second map if they are able to close this one down, especially if it's a convincing scoreline like this as well. If they're able to pick up these last couple rounds and make it like a 16-7, 16-8 or something like that, it certainly looks like I'm probably going to be seeing 50 on the board with a very disheveled buy from the Movistar side, and already kills coming through. Walco removes Davy G from the lineup, as well as now it's just left up towards a few players on that Movistar side. However, Alex just gets from the Deagle. Some Pious, oh, had an opportunity, but he messes it up, fluffs his lines, and now Walco stays alive just a little bit longer. And now it's all up towards Alex and Defs. Now it's all up towards Defs. 1 versus 4. And I think the writing's on his door here, George. The Grim Reaper's coming.
It's not on the wall. Usually
No,
they say the
because it's
writing's
like
on the
that
wall.
meet where they're
Oh, right, where they're kind of like running through people, different doors. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Well, you'd imagine that Deaths, with his name being so aptly named, would be able to cheat it, but unfortunately not. Not this time. Movistar Riders have just not arrived here on Overpass whatsoever. RBG might have actually pulled a bit of a masterstroke with this veto, because they look very, very confident here on Overpass. I think Movistar Riders, I think I can characterize their experience here on Overpass as uncomfortable. Never really looked like they've settled down into it. Never really looked like they've kind of got themselves comfy. They haven't really been able to play their own way. You can see the outcome of that right now. They're looking, well, a bit downbeaten. Jitter just going to go aggressive. Like, what are we watching here? How are they getting away with these kind of plays? No, the flashbang wasn't even good enough to blind Davi. He just ended up getting caught by it nonetheless. And now there's just not really the weaponry on the side of Movistar Riders to try and negotiate a 4 versus 5 accurately. We're going to try and flood in towards this B site, but Hext keeps his head down, and Walco has got him from up above. The oversight, the Guardian Angel, just keeping it all clear. Alex and Deaths, the only players with pistols, just going to try and keep it calm whilst hot under the collar. It is Alex still about to be pushing through where that flame currently resides. Death's also about to chime on too. It's just so many players all around this site. No matter how many shots he fires, he can't find them all. And there it is. RBG win the first map of this series on Overpass 16-7. We'll find out whether they can repeat that after the break. But for now, we're going to see